All right, let's just jump right into it. Welcome to today's Explainer. We are unpacking a massive, totally silent, but incredibly high-stakes war that is playing out right beneath our noses. You know, when we talk about the whole AI boom, we're usually picturing code, right? Algorithms, software, but the real battlefield, it's actually moved into the physical world. Today, we're diving into a multi-gigawatt power play that is literally reshaping the global energy market. We're going to see how Mark Zuckerberg and Meta are quietly pulling off a maneuver to lock in unbelievable energy independence for their AI ambitions. And look, this isn't just some tech upgrade. This is a ruthless financial strike on heavy infrastructure, and it's aiming straight for the heart of the utility-scale storage market.
So, the million-dollar question, or maybe I should say the multi-billion-dollar question, can Meta actually bankrupt Tesla's grid empire? I mean, it sounds almost unthinkable at first, doesn't it? Tesla has spent years completely cementing its dominance in utility-scale energy storage with their Megapack business. They are the undeniable titans of the current electrical grid. But in this explainer, we're going to reveal exactly why Elon Musk's established grid empire is suddenly facing a true existential threat from Zuckerberg's aggressive new infrastructure play. In the financial markets, stability is everything, right? And the source material we're breaking down today outlines a disruption so profound it could completely rewrite the economics of how we store and deploy massive amounts of power.
The strategic divide we're seeing right now is just absolutely stark. It's literally being described as an energy coup quietly executed by Mark Zuckerberg. Let's really break down why those words hit so hard. So right now, Elon Musk's XAI strategy, it relies on building massive, gas-powered supercomputers. It's a very traditional brute force approach to getting the ridiculous amounts of energy AI needs. But Meta, they're going completely off the radar. Instead of leaning on legacy power grids, Zuckerberg is executing a stealthy, multi-gigawatt move to just bypass traditional electrical grids altogether. The financial implications here are absolutely staggering. You've got one tech giant doubling down on the old, physically constrained grid, while the other is attempting a complete architectural override. Wild, right?
Okay, moving on to Section 1, the disruption, a new species of battery.
Now, I want you to just let this number sink in for a second. 10 times. According to the data, Meta has officially announced a massive partnership to deploy what's basically a radically new species of battery, and its power capabilities 10 times greater than traditional lithium-ion tech. Now put that into perspective. In the utility-scale energy market, if you get a 10% bump in efficiency, that is a massive financial win. But a 10 times increase, that is a violent disruption. I mean, that completely shatters the existing economic models for energy storage. If you're holding stock in traditional grid infrastructure, this is exactly the metric that should make you sit up and pay very, very close attention to what Zuckerberg is building.
And, man, here is the punchline. This revolutionary tech isn't just powerful, it has unprecedented endurance. It can store power for over 100 hours straight. Just think about that, 100 hours of continuous, uninterrupted energy. Look, for an AI data center, even a brief power loss means millions of dollars vaporized in lost compute time and delayed training cycles. By securing over 100 hours of standalone power, Meta is basically insulating its AI operations from rolling blackouts, grid failures, and the crazy price swings of the traditional energy market. This right here is how you build a totally self-reliant infrastructure.
Because at the end of the day, chemistry dictates the economics. Tesla's grid heavily relies on lithium and cobalt. These are highly constrained, super expensive materials tied up in incredibly complex, vulnerable global supply chains. But Meta's new coup? Their battery runs entirely on carbon and oxygen. Think about the sheer financial leverage of that. Carbon and oxygen are literally some of the most abundant elements on Earth. So by stripping out the need for lithium and cobalt entirely, Meta isn't just bypassing the traditional power grid. They are totally bypassing the notoriously expensive bottleneck supply chain that Tesla's entire Megapack empire relies on. The financial advantage of using wildly abundant materials instead of incredibly scarce ones, I mean, you really just can't overstate it.
All right, that brings us to Section 2, financial fallout, threatening the Megapack empire.
So this massive technological leap translates into a totally devastating economic reality for legacy energy. Traditional grids, and by extension the whole Tesla Megapack ecosystem, are completely boxed in by physical Earth constraints. They're literally tied down to where power lines can be run and where the power is actually generated, offering mostly short-term storage. But Meta's new play? It bypasses those constraints completely. When you can store multi-gigawatt power for over 100 hours off-grid, you don't need to negotiate with utility companies anymore. You don't have to sweat peak pricing. You're breaking free from the very physics that have dictated the financial realities of utility-scale energy for over a century. Make no mistake, this is a direct, aggressive threat to the financial supremacy of the existing grid ecosystem.
Let's just remove all the ambiguity here. When you stack traditional lithium-ion power right up against Meta's carbon-oxygen battery, you're looking at a massive, unbridgeable 10x gap in power scale. In the world of heavy infrastructure investing, this is basically a blaring warning siren. This is not just Meta trying to keep their servers from crashing. This is a piece of technology that has the potential to violently disrupt the broader utility-scale energy market. Any financial institution that's heavily leveraged in lithium-dependent grid storage really needs to wake up and recognize the massive devaluation risk this 10x carbon-oxygen tech represents.
Let's get into Section 3, the future market, rewriting grid physics. Basically, what Zuckerberg is building here is an infinite energy moat. It's a financial and physical fortress. By deploying a multi-gigawatt off-grid energy storage system, Meta is locking down guaranteed uninterrupted power for its AI data centers. Now, why does this matter to you? Well, because in this whole race for AI supremacy, the winner isn't just going to be the guy with the smartest software. It's going to be the one who controls their own power supply. Meta is building this impenetrable wall around its assets, making absolutely sure that no matter what kind of chaos hits the global energy market, their AI development will never, ever be starved of power.
So let's summarize the absolute bottom line from everything we've looked at today. Number one, the AI war is no longer just happening up in the cloud. It is aggressively moved into heavy infrastructure. The companies that come out on top are going to be the ones pouring billions into concrete, steel, and next-gen battery tech. Number two, Meta's strategy explicitly bypasses Earth's electrical grid limits. They're practically rewriting the rules of physics to detach from legacy constraints. And number three, this move directly and unapologetically challenges the utility-scale storage dominance held by companies like Tesla. We're looking at a ruthless, highly calculated financial war for the very backbone of the future economy.
Which leaves us with this final, burning question. As the AI war moves deeper into heavy infrastructure, who is ultimately going to control the grid of the future? Is it going to be the legacy titans who built the current system, or the tech giants who are completely reinventing the rules of physics to bypass them entirely? The financial fallout of this clash is going to be monumental, and the balance of global power is quite literally resting on the outcome. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Definitely keep your eyes on this market because trust me, the war for energy dominance has only just begun.